You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. First things first, Chief Moore, you gotta do a better job of pretending you care about this, man. I've been watching you roll your eyes and offer half-hearted smirks, acting like a teenager who's falling asleep in detention. Are you not aware of the war crimes your department's doing, or are you just that impatient to go do more of them? I see a lot of you, particularly sober off, only react when folks use profanity in their remarks. If you think curse words are bad, wait until you hear about these 600 plus murders your department has committed over the last 7 years. As long as Moore's out here equating peaceful protesters with cops who murder black people, you all could pretend to be as angry about murder as the F word, okay, kids? I know you're all having a rough day, what with everyone here telling you you're bad at your jobs. Have you considered being good at your jobs? If not, you could find new jobs in retail or restaurants. I know how desperate Garcetti is to get Angelinos consuming again during a global pandemic. Where were the curfews then, by the way? Weird. Chief Moore is morally obligated to resign. Mikey, I know you said you didn't mean protesters are as much to blame for George Floyd's murder as his murderers. That's a lie. It is what you meant, and we all know it. Mikey's made it clear in his racist actions and empty platitudes that he doesn't care about the well-being of his constituents. He loves to tear gas them, blind them, force them indoors with curfews that are announced only a half hour before they take effect, and racially profile as he does so. Don't think I didn't hear about how yesterday you sent out an alert in English saying curfew started at 5 p.m. and sent out an alert right after in Spanish saying it started at 6. What's up with that, bud? All your cute Zoom background photos of the city won't trick us into thinking you care about anyone but yourselves and what's in your pockets. To close with a James Cameron quote, cops think of all non-cops as less than they are. Stupid, weak, and evil. They dehumanize the people they're sworn to protect and desensitize themselves in order to do that job. That's you pigs to a T. Black Lives Matter, act like it. Happy Tuesday.
Hi, I am a 16-year-old young Black woman, and I just want to propose the question. Do you know the trauma behind watching countless Black men and women be killed by racist police officers? I was at the protest on Saturday. I chose to exercise my First Amendment right as an American citizen, along with hundreds of other people, to stand in solidarity to end the systematic racism that is in this country. As we yelled the names of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery, police officers laughed at us. They laughed in our faces. They shot at just countless peaceful protesters. Your officers were the ones that were being violent with us. Children in the crowd. There were elderly women and men in the crowd. I saw people ducking behind cars. People were running. And you are seriously going to sit here and say that it is our fault that an innocent Black man was suffocated to death? You should all be ashamed of yourselves. I'm 16 years old, and I know more than all of you. The fact that I can speak up about this type of shit, and you guys are in, your 50s, and can't even bring justice to all the countless Black men and women that have been killed? This has been a fight for as long as, since the beginning of time. You all said this when Trayvon Martin was killed. You said this when Eric Garner was killed. You've been saying this for years. So what are you going to do now? What are you going to do? Is this just going to be a thing that you pass over? This is just a simple conversation that you have, and then everything goes back to normal? You should all be incredibly ashamed of yourselves. I'm done. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'd like to start by complimenting this commission's impression of a bunch of powerless babies. It was really spot on. Talking about the destruction of property in the same breath that you talk about the police beating peaceful protesters is pathetic, as if my friends and neighbors and fellow Angelinos being gassed and beaten by the LAPD is in any way equal to a Target getting its window smashed. It is so appalling, and I do not imagine someone as petulant and suffering from a persecution complex as severe as Commissioner Morse would ever have the humility and dignity to resign in the face of his complete and abject failure to rein in his racist, terrorist police force. So I'll just skip to demanding this commission and our worthless mayor fire him the second this meeting is over. As much as I'd love to see it happen live, it's important that he sit here and hear the grief and rage and hatred that the people of this city have for him. And as for the rest of you, your failure to do anything to protect the Black citizens of this city is absolutely pathetic. The LAPD needs to be completely torn down and rebuilt as a real community service, not a paramilitary that exists to protect property and act as its own gang force. And as for the mayor, he should be here. And I'd just like to say that it is pathetic that he did not manage to live up to the record set by his predecessor, who had to pay the city back for illegal gifts and is now an Herbalife spokesman. I yield the rest of my time.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, yes, we can.
I'm going to keep it short because there are more important people to speak, but I just want to say you're all incompetent. You're all complicit. More, you should be fucking fired and disgraced over what you said last night. We all know you meant it. And the last thing we need is more money going to you fucking ghouls. Call for the National Guard to leave now. I'm done.
Thank you.
Shame on you. It's not a resignation that we need. It is firing, because we don't need to give benefits to someone who's supervised and watched so many murders. This is insane. Everyone I'm looking at, look at me! Look at me! Hello, Inspector General, can you look at the Zoom? Zoom, what all the kids have been doing during the pandemic. Zoom, the way we all organize and stay together. Zoom, the thing that's gonna bring you down. I can't wait to see how you manage to get this one. Put it up. Look at yourselves. Who's taking notes? Who's taking responsibility? Listen to the people of Los Angeles. They're not going to take it anymore. You are all guilty if you don't figure this out. Demilitarize, send the National Guard home. We don't need protection. We need protection from you. I'm looking at you more. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, each and every one of you, and I want to see you step up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, yes.
Black Lives Matter, defund the police. I find it disgusting that the LAPD is slaughtering peaceful protesters on the street. I had 2 friends go to the protest in Beverly Hills a couple days ago, and the protest was peaceful until the police showed up with their excessive violent force, shooting rubber bullets and throwing tear gas. Is this what you think of protecting and serving? Because I think it's bullshit. Fuck you, Michael Moore. I refuse to call you an officer or a chief because you don't deserve those titles. You are a disgrace. Suck my dick and choke on it. I yield my time. Fuck you.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please go ahead.
Hi, yeah. I just want to thank the chief of police for wasting everybody's time in this greatest time of need. I think he absolutely should be fired. The commissioner, all of you should be doing your job and making sure that this man no longer shows up. We need to defund the police department immediately. We need to find ways to create community-based system. We don't need these people anymore killing our folks in the streets, killing black and brown people. This man can't even look at us while we're talking, while the community speaks. He's just looking down at his fucking phone, texting, doing whatever the fuck. Yeah, look at me, motherfucker. I'm talking to you. We're all talking to you. We're tired of your shit. You're over here hitting and running protesters. We got it all on tape. You're over here shooting at media people that are just minding their own business too. We got it all, baby, and we're still recording you. So we need to get rid of this man. We need to get rid of these fucking pigs. And that's all I got to say. We need to hear more from the community. Stop wasting our time, Chief of Police, and stop killing us.
Yasmin Watkins, you're on.
Hi, my name is Yasmin Watkins, and I'm a Black resident who works in the entertainment industry, and I'm a member of Black Lives Matter Los Angeles, and I have had it with y'all. Y'all sit here week after week, year after year, ignoring our cries, our demands for justice. You refuse to prosecute the cops who kill and over-incarcerate our people. And for years, we have shown up to this police commission in support of the families of those killed by your murderous police force. And you ignore us, finding yourself in policy. How dare you waste our time pretending you care? You spent more time apologizing for the Zoom than you did for killing Black people. People, you can't treat people like that. Your indifference speaks volumes of your commitment to uphold white supremacy, blaming us as you hold the gun. May you forever be haunted by the blood on your hands. Chief Moore, it's time to step down. And Bonner, you and Jackie Lacey are the definition of not all skin folk are your kinfolk. How much is your integrity worth, or did you sell us out for free? This is why we demand to defund the police. You do not support our community. You do not represent us. I am putting all of my power and my network behind the effort to defund your department. May the blood be on your hands.
All right, my name is Sasha Nonis Barnes. I'm a white Jewish man who lives in Koreatown. I want to first say to the white people who have just realized that this is how the police act, shame on you for not listening to black people who have been yelling about this for decades and centuries. Hi, Chief Moore. I'm talking specifically to you, but I'm directing my comments towards the commission as well. I would normally start by saying all due respect, but respect is something that's not given, it's earned. We pay your officers to respect the community, but they need to earn that respect in return. You've sat here with your mask on, fiddling around on your desk, and you ask for respect. Your words ring hollow. Actions speak 10 times louder, and your actions were to shoot innocent, peaceful protesters who were exercising their First Amendment right to free speech and peaceable assembly with rubber bullets, which are metal bullets coated in rubber and can kill a human being at close range, and tear gas, and as well attack them with batons. And you think that's okay. The narrative is that police are allowed to act this way when they get scared. If you scare so easily, why are you police? You claim to want to listen, but in your actions, you refuse. You want to change this system. Start by resigning in shame and follow it by doing everything that Reggie just asked you to do. Who has been out with the brooms and the tools cleaning up the mess? The citizens. The police do not care about the people. And as a message for Eric Garcetti, your political career is over. The people will not forget that you turned a blind eye to militarized police shooting and gassing their own citizens. The LAPD is akin to the Gestapo and needs to be defunded and dismantled. And to the commission, upgrade your Zoom account with all that fucking money. I yield my time.
First, the LAPD needs to stop using aggressive crowd control tactics immediately. Your jobs are to facilitate so unarmed protesters, myself included, are able to express their First Amendment rights. But the vast majority of the people that you're hurting right now, both physically and psychologically, are being peaceful. If you feel threatened by unarmed citizens, then fuck you. Find a new job. Second, Police Chief Moore needs to be fired, not given the opportunity to resign. When you cut off the head, you kill the snake. And right now, the LAPD is a collection of snakes with him at the top. His knee-jerk comments from last night about George Floyd and the nationwide unrest show something very clearly. He's a small man with no empathy, currently holding the public position in this city that requires the most empathy. The fact that that was your unscripted instinct, we see who you are. And if you, the members of the police commission, refuse to hold him accountable, you deserve to be terminated from your positions as well. You need to police the police. Third, I'm calling upon this commission, this city, and this police department to be the nationwide leaders in making policing a licensed profession. You need a license to be a practicing doctor or lawyer. Being a cop should be no different. Licenses can be revoked for misconduct and as warranted. Without a license, an officer removed from one precinct would not be able to obtain employment at another. We should not be hearing excuses for how difficult this may be. Figure it the fuck out. Cops are killing people. You should all be embarrassed. Your long-standing apathy towards these issues and the Black Lives Matter movement is appalling. As it exists right now, the LAPD does not deserve our funding. You have all failed us.
Hi, I'm just commenting in support of Black Lives. I want to make one thing very clear. If any of you have a shred of a conscience left after hearing how people have spoken to you today, you will spend the rest of this day and however much time it takes rethinking your decision to even serve on this commission, rethinking what you're doing, resigning, all of you, from your jobs, and dedicating the rest of your life to undoing the harm and injustice that you have done here. Black Lives Matter. Killer cops need to be convicted, and you should all be defunded, and the entire police system should be dismantled. 600 deaths on your watch. I don't know how you live with yourselves. I yield.
Hello. Hi. How's everyone? I just want to say thank you all for having this meeting and listening to me. I just want to say that you do understand that your information is public online and people can find you to just sit up and protest outside your home. Does that make you wake up yet? Does that make you afraid yet? Because if not, we can find a way to make you afraid and be just like everybody else. Understand that you are a public servant, and public servants can be run out of town, just like a dog that you are. Don't worry, they can find you. And if by the end of the week you are not out of the office, people will find you and post your information online. Good day.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Zachariah, please go
Hello,
ahead.
my name is Zachariah the Witch. I stand for Black Lives Matter and Witches for Black Lives. I would first like to say that as a spiritual leader and advisor, Chief Moore, as a human being, your acts and your words have been bigoted, inhuman, and shameful. You should resign. I also say shame on Mayor Eric Garcetti, who couldn't even show his face today, to stand up and take accountability for the choices and the decisions that he has made. These curfews and the incessant abuse of power by the police and by our local and state government has been disgusting. The fact that it traps people by instilling a curfew 30 minutes before we even have time to get home. Some of us take public transportation. Some of us are homeless. Some of us do not have places where we feel safe. And that is not our fault. That is the fact that your budgets go directly to police. You take millions and millions of dollars and utilize it to adorn your officers in battle gear. You don't come to these peaceful protests and shake us by the hand and say to us, we understand you, Black Lives Matter. You attack us with rubber bullets, you throw tear gas, and you hit us with batons. We have marched peacefully over and over and over again. And I sit here with my white privilege and I ask you to look within your heart, and think about the actions that you have taken. Defund the police. No more criminal cops. No more police immunity. Black Lives Matter, and I yield my time.
I just wanted to say that I think it's absolutely hilarious to see some of you guys shake your heads when someone uses a word you don't like. Sober off. How about, here's a word you don't like. You won't want to hear this word over a phone call to you. Jacob. Miles. How about Molly or Hannah or Leia, who's the same age as me? How about you hear those words over a phone call of an officer-involved incident that went south because the officer just has no idea how to de-escalate? It's absolutely hilarious to look at you guys sit up here so smug. You have failed. You have no moral authority in any way whatsoever while you keep murderers employed on your force. Yeah, get up and walk away, motherfucker. Fuck you. Your shit is publicly available on Wikipedia. It's not hard to find.
All right. So I just want to start by uplifting what Black Lives Matter activist Baba Akili said just a few comments ago. That the only difference between what happened in Minneapolis and what happens in LA in upwards of 25 times a year is distance. And that's exactly why, Chief Moore, nobody fucking believes your bullshit apology. Because if you actually cared about the Black people in this city, then your police force wouldn't murder them. And so when we hear you say these things, it honestly, to me, is the most honest you've ever been. When we think about Grishario Mack, Eric Rivera, Ezell Ford, Waukesha Wilson, Albert Ramon Dorsey, Robert Avidia, Victor Valencia, Melly Corrado, these are all people who have been murdered by your police force and have not been held accountable. So when you say, oh, I feel so bad about my mistake, we know that you're telling the truth, and that's why people are calling for your resignation. We don't believe you. We don't trust the LAPD. We don't want the LAPD in our city. And that's why each and every one of you commissioners have also failed. You should all resign. Go fuck yourselves. See you all in hell.